We went to university together. We both read geography and regional planning. We were in school together. We used to go home together. We were buddies. We won't even remember I was actually his sister's friend, his elder sister's friend. His mom used to refer to me as a bon landry. When anything happens, you know how things happen. His mom would say, when I come, we'll crack jokes about girlfriends, about, if he wants to have a girlfriend, about any issue. We were like that. I remember we bought our first shares together. We did so much together. Landry, I'll just keep celebrating him. Landry was fastball. When you just fastball, those kind of, and he'll just give you one name like this. Oh, Landry. We used to all sit down on the pavement. We'll all sit down on the pavement. We'll all be cracking jokes. There'll be no light. Then, parents didn't
remember
really have
his song. There was a song he did.
We are civil servants. It was just, we were all free.
Sinu, can you remember the song? Can you remember the song he did about lights? Can you remember the song he did about light, power?
I know that he did quite a lot of songs, but that the one that I really can sing at the top of my head is the Jagbajantis. Everybody, join Jagbajantis, God mathematics. Oh yeah. Oh, you both say, na but must be go use so Jagbajantis. Oh yeah, carry by you. Be for brotherhood, love your neighbor as yourself. Oh yeah,
All stands, greet.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You are welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand Pidgin English?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use henceforth? Okay, carry your pen. Carry your paper. Them for my class. People of this world, them plenty. Things of this people, many. So many. Many times plenty, multiplier. Many times plenty, multiplier. Multiply the answer you get now waiting, they make poor man they cry. The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man they mess and leaders they lie. The answer you get now waiting, they make young boys and girls join party gang. Answer you get now waiting, they make innocent man rot inside the jail. Get it, and they no need to grant a bail. Everybody,
join Jagbajantis, solve mathematics.
We did about our continent, so
you both say about maths.
We go use it
solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis.
So ya carry by be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh, for objectivity.
Be objective, genuinely.
For democracy,
no matter how hard it is in our military.
M for modification
of our behavior, let's stand to the stereo.
A, accountability.
If you've been a chop money, have everything take easy.
S for solidarity.
Not every time we buy it, oh my show.
We enter new millennium.
Shut it down.
Nigerians like 120 million. More gone. One population now 6 billion.
6 billion.
Divide that 1 by 120 million all together. Oh yeah.
All together.
The answer you get now waiting, they make people they jar. Come on for Niger. Answer you get now waiting, they make people want travel. By hook or by crook. The answer you get now waiting, they make people they sleep for embassy for visa. Answer you get now waiting, they make people they sell their property for chicken. Get it, get it. Get the travel secret. Get it. Oh, hey. Everybody,
join Jagbajantis, solve mathematics.
We need about our continent, so
you both say about maths.
We go use takes.
Solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis.
So ya carry by be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor
objectivity.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
He has been celebrated by all.
Yes. Rightfully so.
He has been celebrated by all.
Rightfully so.
You know, he has been
He has. You know, let me say another thing. He was very humble. You know, he used to wash his car for a very long time himself. I remember he used to wash his car for a very long time himself. He used to take care of his car. He will wash it, then he will have all this sprays. He use, I don't know, all these sprays then. He will use the spray, maybe, you know, for any scratch. He used to do everything himself. And you'll be wondering, he'll say, don't worry, he was that humble. He had people that could do, he washes himself for every time. He will wash his car himself.
And you know, I also believe that he passed that humility onto his wife as well, because because I've been calling a few of his friends, you know, in the area, guys that were much closer to him, Toye and other people, and you know, and then Toye, one of the things, you know, that he said was how loving and humble even the wife was, you know, how she was so humble, just like the husband as well. So his impact was really, it cut across. It cut across. Once you have a connection or a link with Larry, he actually, I think he was special, really, and he actually came for a purpose. And he did well. He ran his race well. He came for a purpose, because I know he constantly, that voice notes, when we were worried, when we heard about him being ill and we're worried, that voice notes where he kept saying, you know, the voice notes or the video like voice note that his sister sent, where he was saying that he's here for a miracle. There's a reason why he's here, you know. It's sad, but I think he was called. It's not only pastors or imams that are called. I think Larry was called, and
he had a message to pass across.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Attention all brothers, this is a Ninja and Hypertech collaboration.
Something like a bushmeat. I am searching for the hunter. If I ever catch the hunter, if you help me see the hunter, ever me keep ever me keep my people maintain. I don't tire to the explain. Making whenever trucks say they complain. No, what I like to yawa. Everywhere just like no power. Only power not the one who them get you with them. You stay oppressed, so my people for the enjoy. Now what could be the answer? I couldn't be that we don't matter to them. Cause they chop my money, your money, every other person money. Ever me keep my people sabi, everything about the body. Now my people sabi, everybody must know somebody to go. Now my people sabi, everything about the body. Now my people sabi.
Right, we are discussing the moments, the memories of Sound Sultan. Lanre here, you heard Chichi and Atinuka there. Yes, they are with me throughout the show. They grew up with Lanre Sound Sultan in South Lights Town. They tell the story of his growing up, his time starting with music, developing into a star. The memories of Sound Sultan. He came his soul, he made his mark, he leaves. It's the time to celebrate Sound Sultan on State Affairs. Remember, he fought against bad governance. He wanted a beautiful Nigeria. His music tell the story. I'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ ti dé. Gbogbo wa ká máa kíra wa kú oríire. Olúwa ti ń bẹ tí ẹ̀mí rẹ̀ wá. Ọgbọ̀n ìṣẹ́jú ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni wòlíì Ọlọ́run Rocket Sam Ojo. Ọmọlódún Jésù bàbá Fẹ́jọ́dógún ló fi máa wá sí.
Take time easy, as for solidarity. Oh my show, we enter new millennium. Gigas like 20 million. No gone. One population of 6 billion. Divide that one by 120 million. All together, we are all together. Outside you get now waiting, they make people leave. Make people they sleep for embassy, for visa. As I get now waiting, they make people they sell the property for cheating. Get it, get it. Let the travel see, get it. Oh, yeah. Everybody, oh yeah, join Jabajati, solve mathematics. We need our continent, so. We go use takes of mathematics. So follow Jabajati. So ya Caribbean, be for brotherhood. Love your neighbor as a supporter. Oh, for objectivity. Be objective, gentlemen. Be for democracy. No matter how bad it is, let a military. And for modification. All behaviors onto the stereo. Pay accountability. If you been a chop money, I beg you take time easy. As for solidarity, united we stand and divided. Oh my shell, you just the HSCity. Shut it down. And this the VG City. Shut it down. Micro level for HSCity. HSCity. Rich man corner be VG City. VG City. Try at AJ and VG City. All together, oh yeah, all together. Answer you get now waiting, they make rich man oppress and then suppress. The answer you get now waiting, they make poor man depress. But then I press. The answer you get now waiting, they make poor man they try to keep up with the Joneses. Answer you get now waiting, they make poor man begin. They try to prove the limit. Get it, get it. Never get money, then they feel me. Get it, get it. Oh, yeah. Everybody, oh yeah. Join Jabajati, solve mathematics. We did about our continent. So, we go use takes solve mathematics. So follow Jabajati. So ya can't even.
Situation in this nation, disposition, our condition, unexplainable pain. In our hearts, not to mention brothers killing brothers, full of patience, salvation, resolutions are made, but always made with lack of vision. Imperfection is the order as we keep seeking solutions. Only God can solve this mathematical equation.
Thanks for your contribution. Now, any more questions?
Stands, greet.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You are welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sounds and your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand pidgin English?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use this for? Okay, carry your paper. Left for my class. People of this world, them plenty. Things of this people, many, so many. Many times plenty, multiplier. Many times plenty, multiplier. The answer you get now waiting, they make come and they cry. The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man they mess and leaders deny. The answer you get now waiting, they make young boys and girls join party. Answer you get now waiting, they make innocent man rot inside the jail. Get it, and then no need to grant a bail. Get it, oh. Everybody, join Jagbajantis, make we solve mathematics. We need about our continent, so going back faith about maths. We go use it to solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis. So ya Caribbean, if for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself at all.
Oh, for objectivity.
Be objective, tell me
for democracy.
Welcome to the
And for
Such was the bigness of his stars. Such were the powers of his message. Let's listen to Tinuke and Chichi tell us the story of Sound Sultan growing up.
Oh, I remember Larry when he first bought his first car. So many memories of Larry. I just can't, as much as I keep, trying not to cry, the tears just keep rolling. Even today, NBA, they celebrated him. They gave him a standing ovation, 1 minute last silence. They did T-shirts for him.
He liked
time. They're doing a candle procession.
What did you say? He liked basketball a lot. You remember? He liked basketball.
He even had a basketball team.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Pardon?
He had a basketball team in Lagos.
Really? I didn't even realize that. Wow.
Yes, he did. Tinuke.
That's what happens sometimes when you're far apart. Like my language says, 20 children will not play. We still were in touch, but not as in touch as we used to be when I was in Nigeria.
Let me tell you that Tinuke is speaking from London. And where is Chichi speaking from? I'll let you know at some point. And who is Chichi, by the way? You have to know at some point. Now, Chichi, at what point did you see that there's a star in Lanre? Did you see the Sound Sultan emerging from that humble beginning?
Yes, like I said, ease into stardom wasn't overnight. It was gradual and it was consistent. I mean,
when you say consistent, how do you mean?
Yeah, so back to back from Bodma's days, he always had a message from way back. So it was that consistent. Yes. That way back, he had been consistent.
He was already doing stuff with his brother Babadi. I remember something about the Uday Bleach or something. But I know Jagbajantis. Then there was, I can't remember the names of the songs anymore, but I remember the songs, but I can't really remember the names. There was one we did Lagos Island.
Okay. And then there was something.
She said it right. It wasn't, it was a gradual thing.
It was
a gradual thing.
And Larry was loyal. He was loyal. He was unbelievable. He was loyal to his family. He was his extended family, his siblings. He was loyal to his friends. He was loyal to the nuclear family. He was loyal to the community where he grew up. I mean, he had moved out. He had moved out, but he always came back to organize end of year celebration. So he would pay for everything,
December, Christmas,
mount the
Easter,
stage.
He always had shows for.
Yeah, for the young
for
people.
The community. They always have jams.
I mean, he was one that brought Two-Face.
Bringing all the stars.
He was one that brought Two-Face. We didn't think Two-Face was going to come, but he brought Two-Face.
He brought Two-Face to Satellite Town.
Yes, there was one year. Yes.
I personally, like, for a lot of stars that I've met, personally, aside seeing them in the shows, you know, I used to be a fun-loving person when I was in Nigeria, outgoing person. You know, most of the stars I see, I used
Funky
to see
Alaja. That's what we call her. Funky Alaja.
We used to sit down together. We could sit on the sofa together. We could sit on the floor together. You know, Lanre's house was always like, you know, how people say that we used to eat. Everybody come in, eat. You know, Two-Face, Idris, Abdul Karim, all that crew. Then I can't remember them. There were 3. That crew. I used to see them in Lanre's house. Princess. I don't know Princess's name, but Princess, you know, the same Princess. I've seen her in Lanre's house several times. She was very close to Lanre when they were younger in primary school.
She even featured in one of Lanre's songs, Princess.
Orobo,
yes. Princess was in that video.
I think Princess, didn't she grow up in Satellite Town or something? I think I heard something like that. Didn't Princess grow up in Satellite Town? I can't remember, but I heard something.
She did. That's what I'm saying, that she was very close to Lanre.
Yeah.
Now,
I said something about him being very loyal. So and you could see that even from the exemplary family life he led. You know, a lot of time when you hear musicians, you're hearing about baby mamas, you're hearing about being entangled with one person or the other. That was never Lanre. I remember when he
was never Sound Sultan.
Never. I remember when he decided that it was Chichi. I remember when he said it was Chichi. He was, because even his wife.
Guitar boy. He just, you know, cool. Just do that his cap like this. Cover.
He was a guy man.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you mean by guy man. You know, guy man means different things to different people. But you know, the good thing about Lanre, like Chichi said, he was never into women. He was never smoked, drank.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
This one goes out to all my honorable ladies out there. Sound so tan. Excel. See you up in the club. Check. The ruler. Like Thriller. The plus size ladies.
She just the roll her waist like Gorodum. See, she makes me want to touch her Gorodum. She be like Imolue, see backyard everywhere. Your African lady, your back and evidence. So them they call her every duty, me I they call her every evening. Make sure report on my bunk every night for her evening duty.
My own model. My own
she just they roll her waist like Gorodum. She makes me want to touch her Gorodum. Wanna take you home.
What is the meaning of fine? I don't know. Who are we to define? Tell me. This sorrow is mine, so you better shut up your mind. Nothing in the world can come between me and my horrible. You say your girl is the best, and so is my horrible. Hand in hand, I will walk down the aisle with my horrible. But I no go fi carry my horrible. But shall we go marry? Omolomo yeo, omolomo yeo, omolomo yeo. Bono luchi she be my own model.
She just they roll her waist like Gorodum. See, she makes me want to touch her Gorodum. Wanna take you home.
This edition of State Affairs is dedicated to the memories of a great African that lives. I'm talking about Sound Sultan. His sound comes with lyrically spirited lines, leaving for us messages of hope. He is sound, Sound Sultan. He is reinvented. He lives. These are the moments of truth, and his message will always be with us. From now to the end of show, we will talk about him. Tinuka speaking from London. Chichi telling us the story. They grew up in the same area in Lagos. They know him. And the story of Sound Sultan is on State Affairs. But remember, I started the program by telling you the story of Aboki. I have to drive home the point. It's a hot afternoon. I was sweating on the road to the mountain where eagles sharpen their wings. I am to take the golden egg of the mother eagle and return for the baptism of peace. As I plot in my head, as I plot how to protect the egg after taking it, this man, in frantic search of a valuable thing, happened. I see him. He emerges from the bush part to the waterside, asking of the whereabouts of the man behind his pain. Pain? He runs into the heart of the woman living for the sake of peace. He finds not the man and approaches me in anguish. I look at him. He needs my help. I must take him to the tree where birds sing love songs for a broken heart, or he will not find his wife. He needs his wife. Who has taken his wife? Your wife, I ask. He says, Aboki gave his beautiful wife pieces of gold, and she eloped with him. He says Aboki is a thief. He must find Aboki before sunset, so he needs me to give him my torchlight. Is the sun not bright enough? But I need my light for tough times on the mountain. I ask him what happened to his pieces of gold. They were taken from him by the kidnappers operating in the river. He went to look for them to take his pound of flesh, but they've moved their trade to the market of no profit. You see, kidnappers are worn out from restlessness. Now that his wife went for gold, he must find some gold to get her back, for her beauty cannot suffer. Now he finds me on the road. But wait, did Aboki take his wife, or his wife took gold from Aboki and ran to the land where beauty is gold? Now that the man is with me on the foot of the mountain, we are about making the climb. Yes, we are ready to move. We will return, and our land will be full of gold. See you when we return. But remember to keep your eyes on your valuable thing. Sometimes, some stories are meant not to be understood. But in this case, this one is meant to be understood. As you reflect on my story, don't forget the journey to redemption. Why do we need to redeem the land? You should know. I know you know. Buhari knows. The radio man knows that we need to redeem the land. Who will redeem the land? You, of course. You. You will redeem the land. Hey. Insecurities from activities of bandits and terrorists puts Nigeria on the road to hunger. Have you eaten this morning? And this happens as the unproductivity of the political leadership at all levels compounds the situation. Unproductivity of those who should be productive. When leadership is unproductive, the land becomes violent and the people grow poorer. It's also about climate change, and it's also about the ravaging impact of COVID-19 pandemic. But is it not during hard times that nations redeem themselves? Therefore, because of the challenges, millions of Nigerians are unable to eat well from the hardship. How can they? When there's violence in the northeast, when there's violence in the southeast, how can the people eat well? Once there is violence in the land grows poorer. So are you among those calling for more violence? Get ready to get poorer. No peace, no development. I hope you understand. It's not about Buhari. It's about the land, the peace of the people. How do we measure what is going on with food? This is seen in Nigeria's 10th position in the 2020 Global Hunger Index, where countries like Afghanistan, Haiti, and Chad show prominence in the committee of the 10 hungriest countries. That is where Nigeria belongs. Giant of Africa. Yes. It's my story. And YD Adebayo is here to join the story. The Sunday Tribune tells the story, or the Saturday Tribune tells the story. Massive killings ongoing in Kaduna. That is coming from Southern Kaduna leaders. You see? Herdsmen killed 40, razed 254 homes, 7 churches. You'll find that on the front page of the Tribune. Mobs burnt Fulani homes, murdered pastoralists, Miyetiala. How? So much pain. Gunmen attack Ibarakba, shoot residents, kill Amotekun leader. Hey. We are ready to prosecute suspected murderer of Akwa Ibom job seeker. Can you feel the headlines? Where is the hope to take away from it? But despite the pain, I see hope. I see beauty. That is what I see. What do you see? It's no news that millions of Nigeria live in extreme poverty on less than $1.9 per person per day. And the news is not that the amount cannot support healthy living, but most worrisome is their unending and unhopeful search for good food. Food. Everyone deserves good food. Everyone deserves good food. No good food, no innovation. A hungry man can hardly innovate, but in the midst of hunger, the hungry man can come out with ways to the mountain top. YD Adebayo, how do you feel?
I'm feeling great this morning.
You're feeling great. The land is hungry, don't you know?
Yes, we are hungry, but I think what we do have is hope that it's going to get better. if we stick at it and we struggle together, it's not an easy time at all. Killings left and right, gunmen are ravaging houses in north central, Kaduna to be precise. The northeast, you have Boko Haram ravaging everywhere, displacing people. In the south here, southwest especially, you have farmer headers problems. Farmers are having their farms eaten up by cattle, and you have people being killed and kidnapped in the mass. And the eastern part of the country, you have gunmen everywhere. And so it's so frustrating. But the question is, do we just raise up our hand and give up hope? This country belongs to us. We don't have any other country. We have to put our feet on the ground and face the struggle together.
We have to face it.
We have to face it.
You are a farmer.
Yes, I am.
And you recently returned to the country.
Yes.
After seeing Europe in different lights.
Yeah.
What did you see?
Well, I see a place where people actually understand. I would take you back a little bit that if we want to talk about food, we are trying to talk about food insecurity, but I think we should first define what food security actually is. Because if we don't understand what food security is and we're talking about food insecurity, many people might not actually understand what we're talking about. To me, food security is it's divided into two parts. It's a national security issue on the one hand. Without food, you cannot have security in the country. People know that. Those in government know that. Big organizations know that without food, even if you go back in history, go into the Bible, Joseph rose to power in Egypt because of food. If you remember, 7 years of famine, 7 years of bumper harvest. And when famine came in Egypt, everybody was hungry. There was violence in the land. There was a lot of crisis. That was when Joseph came over to be there was supposed to be something like that. And he came up with the idea of how food was supposed to be surplus during the time of famine. And they were able to store food when food was surplus. And when the famine came, they were able to ration the food and give everybody. And that was how he rose to power. That shows you that from time immemorial, food has always been a national security issue.
When there is food, there is national power.
Yes. The country's at peace, the country can progress, everything can move on.
And you know I like food.
Everybody likes food.
Oh, you need to see the attention I pay to food.
Everybody likes food.
You like food?
I like food, obviously. Good food.
Good food.
Yes. Now let's talk about the other part of food. Apart from national security, food as national security. To people, we're talking of access to food that is adequate, that is nutritious. And when we mean access, we don't mean you don't have to look for access to good food. Dietary food that is nutritious.
Balanced diet.
Yes, balanced diet. You don't just eat food for eating's sake or because you are hungry. You eat food that will make your body okay, healthy, not just consume things. That's why Nigeria is the number 2 country with the highest amount of stunt children in the world.
So when you say food security, what do you mean?
What we mean is that people should have access to good, adequate, nutritious food at all times.
When you say food insecurity, what do you imply?
We are implying that the people do not have access to food. They cannot even eat comfortably, eat things that will make them healthy. And when you don't have food security, you have an upsurge of diseases in the country. If you see what we live now, you hear young men dying of cancer, diabetes, all kind of things, and we ascribe this to spiritual things and everything. It's part of what we eat.
If information from the Northeast Development Commission is quoted, over 2.6 million people of a 5.9 million population are at risk of hunger in Borno State due to Boko Haram ISWAP terrorist operations. In March, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization warned that at least 9.2 million Nigerians faced starvation.
That's very correct. The data are even saying that like 1 in 10 Nigeria is actually not having good access to food.
Just common food.
Yes, common food. We call it common food. We are not producing any kind of food in adequate quantity in Nigeria. Nigeria is the biggest producer of cassava. The cassava we produce is massively inadequate. We produce around 60 million metric tons of cassava yearly now. 75% of it goes into the production of gari. That tells you how much pressure that is. So we celebrate the fact that we produce the most cassava in the world. We produce almost close to 21% of the whole cassava in the whole world. But even that cassava enough is not even enough for food alone, not to talk of other things that we can use this cassava for.
Yet we are 200 million people and above. And how come we cannot produce enough?
The point is really this, that we never really see, number one, let's start from the government. There has never been any sustainable policy to actually grow agriculture or develop the agricultural sector.
Operation Feed the Nation.
Operation Feed
Green Revolution.
These were just ad hoc policies. Let's go back. At independent, the Western region was producing cocoa, cola nut, and palm kernel and exporting that. The Southeast was also exporting palm kernel and oil, palm oil. The North was exporting groundnut and all the stuffs like that. But by the time the crude oil prices went up in 1971-72, from around $4 per barrel to around $14 per barrel, it was Christmas Day in Nigeria. Everybody forgot about our agriculture. And if I must get my facts right, it was then that the president, the head of state then was quoted as saying that Nigeria's problem was not money, it was how to spend the money. That was the problem. And that was even what led to the Indoji bonus of 1974, if you remember. There was too much money that should have been pumped into agricultural policies that would have gotten the country running. And the country that was actually producing good food, at the time we got to 76, 77, the country was already hungry and importing maize, importing gari and other cassava and other things. That was what led to the Operation Feed the Nation program of the Obasanjo regime, because the country was massively importing grains.
So was the nation fed?
No. These were just ad hoc programs that came with each regime and went out and went away again.
So when Shagari came with Green Revolution, there was no revolution?
There was nothing like a revolution. Even Green Revolution was not a Nigerian program. It's like a United Nations program, worldwide program that has been run in other parts of the world. So Nigeria just tried to build into that. But you see, the problem in Nigeria then was so big because crude oil prices were down, the economy was in a bad shape, and the country was doing an austerity measure that was not working. They were also trying to say, okay, can we produce some food? There is no real sustained policy to say, okay, we want to put this thing in place that every year we attract more people into farming. For example, what the data says that the average farming age in Nigeria is 56 years.
That's old.
Old people are the people farming in Nigeria.
That's old.
Yes. So if old people farming, imagine my father. My father is a farmer. He cannot farm more than 2 acres. So imagine the people that are just farming 2 acres or 1 acre are the people that are trying to feed you in your country. What's going to happen?
Hunger comes.
Hunger comes. Old people, young people are not attracted to the agricultural sector because the place looks unlucrative. And look at what is happening all over the country now. Violence everywhere. Even young people who come from abroad to farm in the country are being kidnapped and killed by the parks.
Has Buhari been told?
I'm sure he's the commander-in-chief. He must have his security report. He must know of these things. He must know of these things.
You remember that in November 2020, about 76 rice farmers were beheaded by terrorists in Zabamari, Jere local government area of Borno State, causing the displacement of farming communities. The sad situation rears its head in Niger State as the governor, Abubakar Bello, raises the alarm of famine, saying bandits have forced our people to change their way of life. They've stopped our children from going to school, and they've stopped our farmers from going to farm. As in Niger, bandits are sacking farms in Katsina, Kebbi, and Zamfara State, where more than 100 towns are deserted for fear of bandits. Bandits rustle cows, kill, and kidnap their victims. Also heavily hit is Benue State, where the governor Samuel Otom complains of the displacement of over 1 million persons in 8 of the state's 23 local government areas. You saw peace in Europe. Mm-hmm. What is the power of peace?
The ability to be the best form of yourself. The ability to innovate. The ability to think outside the box. But when every time what you think about is survival, how to get your
invaders. Autumn's fear is made apparent by the figures of food inflation standing at 18.2% for months before a slight fall of 17.9% in May. As food prices rise, more people fall into extreme poverty. According to the World Bank, in 2020, rising food prices pushed an extra 7 million Nigerians below the poverty line. Did you hear that?
Yes, Edmund. Nigeria has this development quagmire that we find ourselves in Nigeria. High levels of poverty that we have in Nigeria. Nigeria has a solution, and that solution is agriculture, which we have never taken this seriously. For countries like ours, developing countries, one of the pathways to development is industrializing agriculture, making agriculture a business. For example, the import bill of Nigeria for food is around $10 billion every year. around $10 billion, importing wheat, rice, poultry products, and frozen fish.
Look at this.
Yeah.
By National Bureau of Statistics data, in the first quarter of 2021, Nigeria's agricultural imports exceeded exports by 503 billion.
So we're talking of food alone here. We're not even talking of raw materials. If we now start talking of raw materials like maybe gums, maybe glucose, maybe lactose syrup and all the likes, we'll be talking of in tens and tens of billions of dollars.
On a good day, agriculture should be the area where we have comparative advantage.
Yes, we should be using that to engineer. We should be using that to engineer development in this country. And you know why? This is what it is. If you have economic growth in other sectors, you probably the kind of multiplier effect is usually like 1% or 2%. But in agriculture, if you have 1% growth in agricultural activities, the multiplier effect is like 11 times.
We cannot manufacture airplanes.
Yes.
We don't have cars of our own. We import transmitters. We bring in phones. Food that we can produce, we still import. What's going on?
Everything is just wrong. I think the situation is symptomatic of who we are or where we find ourselves as a nation.
Do the governors know?
Everybody seems to know that. I think they don't seem to have a solution to the problem, and that's scary. Because we should be, at this point, especially in the state where we are, your state, we should be attracting younger people to the farming. We should be making farm. The route to my farm is like driving to hell.
Hell.
It's like driving to hell.
So your farm is hell.
It's like driving to hell because.
So if the road to your farm is like driving to hell, your farm should be hell.
That should be the point, because if you go to take the fact that I drive to my farm and you wake up the next morning, it's like you've been in a WWF wrestling fight because all of your body, because of the state of the roads. There was a time I was driving my car, was having a problem. I got on a bike and the bike. I had a law on my body or peeled off. And he said, "Don't go back to your farm." And I said, "No, I will go back." That's how bad the routes to the farms are. So when we say young people don't want to go into farming, how would you want a young man of 21, 22 to be driving on a bike like driving to hell to a farm just because he wants to go to a farm? Now, if you now get many of the farmers, you plant things, and when it gets time to sell them, there are no good roads for you to remove those crops from your farm. You lose half of it. Even most of the time, we lose 80% of the crops that we produce. So at the end of the day, people lose money they take into farming. So the only people who actually farm in Nigeria are mostly people who have a passion for it.
YD Adebayo is on State Affairs. We are looking at food security in Nigeria vis-a-vis the violence being visited on the state by bandits, terrorists. But by the way, now when I hear we talk about bandits, terrorists, are they not our sons?
They are brothers and sisters.
How did we drive them to this level?
I'm scared because I don't have a narrative for that. Because if you say, when I hear bandits, the word, when we used to watch Western movies when we were younger, I heard of the word bandits in this so-called what we call Western movies, these cowboy movies. And when you talk of bandits, you are talking of group of people that are numbering 20, 30, 100, moving as a gang. That has gone beyond. When you talk of armed robbery, you're probably talking of 1, 2, 3 people, 4 people. But when you talk of bandits,
they come at you.
You are talking of hundreds of people that with guns on bikes or something, moving rapidly.
Should we kill them? You're not our sons. What do we do? How do we take these guns away from them? Because I'm beginning to feel we have too many bandits to kill. How many are we going to kill?
You don't have to. You cannot kill everybody. You cannot kill everybody because at the end of the day, where we say, okay, we need to protect ourselves and somebody's holding a gun, the person is probably trying to kill you. You need to kill the person back. But the point really is that if we have so many bandits, the question should be, how did we get here? What is the root cause of this problem? Because if you say you are fighting Boko Haram, the question we seem to ask you is that, is a military war the solution to the problem? If poverty is the cause of this problem, and poverty is still there, Boko Haram will continue to have recruits.
So you must tackle poverty.
You must tackle poverty, hunger, And there's another bigger problem that we are not talking about. Nigeria is about 100 million. And another frightening thing is that the data have been saying the population will double in 2050. So Nigeria probably have a population of very close to 400 million in 2050. If you cannot feed 200 million now, how do you feed 400 million in 25 years' time?
When there is life, there is hope. We'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Àwọn tó kán létí wọn mọ ohun tó dára o. Kásìsì máa ni wọ́n ń lò. Kásìsì ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ òde òní náà fi ṣe. Kásìsì ó dára kì máa í mòrò. Ó tún ṣe ege sí òde ìwọ̀n tẹ́ bá fẹ́ o. Ó lè kókó. Ó dára ó rẹwà ó lànà pẹ́. Ó lè kókó. Ó dára ó rẹwà ó lànà pẹ́. Prestige wà. Lẹ́gẹ̀dì gan ìyẹn ò lẹ́gbẹ́. Diamond wà. Crystal pẹ̀lú Supreme tó dára. Ilé iṣẹ́ Nigerite ló ṣe wọ́n jáde o. Nigerite calcicil tó táwọn yọjú. Calcicil sílẹ̀ tí ilé iṣẹ́ Nigerite fìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ayé òde òní gbé jáde. Ó rẹwà, ó le koko, ó lálòpẹ́. Bàbá ń bari ẹ̀ ní pé kì í mòoru. Ó yàtọ̀ láwùjọ àwọn sílẹ̀. Ó tún ṣe gẹ́sì ìpele. Bẹ́ẹ̀ owó rẹ̀ mọ̀ níwọ̀nba. Ó sì wà ní gbogbo ilé ìtajà Nigerite jákèjádò Nàìjíríà. Nigerite calcicil ó ju sílẹ̀ lásán lọ.
With almost 100,000 Instagram followers and over 100,000 followers on Twitter. Wow! And more than 250,000 followers on Facebook. Great. Our followers are our greatest assets. Join our social media family for breaking news, daily information, and giveaways. On Instagram and Twitter at Splash FM 1055. On Facebook at www.facebook.com/Splash FM 105.5.
Guy, you don't see that new funny video for Twitter? That one with the boy. You mean this one? What of that brother Shaggy News Kitty? Where they circulate WhatsApp? Oh, this one. What of that meme? Where the guy?
When mouth open like this, bar?
Mr. Know It All. Which data you they use know all these things?
Now, Glow new data plans get me.
Are you serious?
With just 50 naira, and they get 50 MB. And with just 100 naira, and they get 150 MB. We have to use chat or browse on top Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and even Snapchat. Don't dull yourself, oh. Dial *777# now. Make you begin the browse, they go.
Glow Unlimited.
Délé pàdí mi tó jáyé jù.
Wàá ṣeré ọmọ ìyá mi.
Ìgbà wo ló ti ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ já ẹṣin ọkọ̀ tuntun eléyìí?
Ọkọ̀ tuntun báwo? Ikọ́ ṣoṣo tó mọ̀ mímọ̀ náà ni.
Irọ́ ni o, ní mọ́tò tó ń fojoojúmọ́ gbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Báwo ló ṣe ṣe tó fọ́ dàbí tuntun báyìí?
Iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ Service King lórí yẹn.
Kẹ̀gbá fẹ́ tí mọ́tò ṣe kó dàbí tuntun jáde Service King.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, Service King tó sọ mọ́tò di tuntun bí ìyàwó àṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbé. Èyíkéyìí ìtọ́jú ara ọkọ̀ tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe bó bá jẹ́ mechanical bó jẹ́ body work ẹ dá gbogbo ẹ̀dá Service King. Àwọn mojúlẹ́jà ìgbàlódé spray painting tó fi mọ́ baking tinútẹ̀yìn ni wọ́n sì fọ mọ́tò fún gbogbo oníbàárà wọn tí wọ́n bá parí iṣẹ́. bí ọba ni Service King gua sí plot 36 College Crescent Abel Kóyèjọ layout Òkè Àdó Ìbàdàn 091-3538-0000 Service King ọba tó ba lórí gbogbo mọ́tò.
Splash FM 105.5.
In the global village of conflicting ideologies and complexities, understanding systems and schemes through awareness and social reconstruction becomes expedient.
They never told you how you offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before
Join the radio man, Edmund Obilo, on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmund Obilo. Radio just got deeper. State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Yes, I can see everyone here celebrating Sound Sultan. I can see messages saying his soul should rest in peace. Makestos Additional Shino says it's so sad that Sound Sultan left at a time when his spirited sounds and lyrical content are much needed to keep the government on their toes. Philip Akpodwadu Edema is enjoying the celebration of Sound Sultan. Fin Folu Falodun is saying that the president and Oyo State governor, among others, paid glowing tributes to Sound Sultan. The true tribute will be them making his songs their personal anthem and doing right for the people. Sound Sultan, such a distinct voice, Fin concludes. Hasbuna Naisi says, may Sound Sultan rest in peace. And this is coming from Amadi Lawson. He says, hello, Radio Man. Adebumi Adeoba, I can see you saying the man on radio. Kende Theophilus Adewale, good morning. I can see you here. Tinuke and Chichi grew up with Sound Sultan. They are with me on the show. Tinuke speaks from London. They continue the story.
A lot of people didn't know, but he was very religious. I think that also shaped him a lot. He was from a religious family, but you can be from a religious family and deviate. But he himself stood firm, and that you could also see that when he eventually married. He married, I won't say she's like a school daughter to me, you know.
Yeah.
In the community, his wife, his beautiful wife, you know, she was a Christian. She's from a different background, but no barriers about that, you know. It wasn't easy at the beginning, but everything sorted itself out. And she eventually became a Muslim. So that's for you to know the impact, you know, he was able to impact so much in his wife. Even before they got married, she became a Muslim.
How come we did not see that in his music?
How what?
I don't agree. We actually did.
No, did Islam? I mean, did Islam? He did not really showcase Islam in his music, or did he?
He was not a religious singer. I don't think he was not a religious singer.
He didn't. He was liberal. Let me just use that word. He didn't. Because he believed music was passing the message across to all. You know, that was, and he was very good in drawing. He was very artistic. He's very creative. Very, he was a good artist. He used to draw a lot. He used to draw a lot. You know, I don't know if he did an exhibition, but he used to draw a lot. He used to draw a lot of things. Even when we're in class, geography and planning, he used to draw a lot for people. He would draw a lot for people. I think one time I told him about his drawing from your miracle or something. You know, those kind of funny things. They come out, go open drawings, all those plannings and drawings he used to do. He used to draw a lot. He would draw so many things, abstract things. Sometimes you just see him going somewhere, he'll just draw something abstract. no airs about Lanre. Lanre, he will both bike Okada, you know, even as a star, he will just flag Okada down. He had one guy, one man. He was his barber from day one till, even when he left Satellite Town, he would still go, gunman. He would be the one to cut his hair.
Gunman was his barber.
Gunman
on your clothes now. Gunman on your clothes. His shop is on your clothes, actually.
Sound Sultan. How did that name come about?
I have no
I think Sultan, yes, maybe maybe a little bit Islam, you know, or about being a Muslim, something like that. Then the sound, I can't really remember how it puts it together. But one thing I know if people have really noticed, you can hardly see him without his cap. He doesn't leave his hair open. Either he has a bowler hat, he has a face cap, he has something, you know, just to signify, you know, it's like a symbol, you know, humility symbol of being, you know, a revered Muslim. You know, most people, when you're into music and entertainment industry, the media, you could have, you know, all this fashion trends of dress and stuff, and he never did. He never really did. Even if he did, I never think he exposed it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe spotting waves. You know, then you just use spotting waves to make your hair spotty and wavy. But he always had a face cap, always had something on his head. He was, you know, he was that kind of person. Lanre. He went to his primary school was Stepping Stone. Primary school. Then he went to FGC Ogbomoso. He was a very strong member of Ansarudin, even up until he passed. You know, they were still saying of the things he still did while he was still on the sick bed, which people didn't even know. Some people were telling me he did something. He's been doing something on Twitter for like a Muslim program. He was doing that all while he was still on his sick bed. Nobody knew. It's called Ejisari, like waking Muslims up for, you know, time to fast, time to start your fast. And he was doing love, giveaway. He was like that, selfless.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Monkey we walk the shop. Ganja Ninja. You dey walk, you go chop. That piano on the beat.
Push to the limit. You for the push on the limit. What else?
Sound so turn. Suck for it.
You know the money to the problem.
I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you. Isha. Tell on the boss. We the guy there and the monkey. You come on, juicy. Come on, juicy. Tell them again. We the guy there and the monkey. You come on, juicy. Tiwanyemaro, oh wait, Kemafiwaro, oh wait, Sasotanti, Tuntuno, Babalalo, oh wait, money day back, oh wait, dollars are pounds, oh wait, I think the rain has showers of blessing, what some they expect son, oh wait, if you never balance, just continue gallant, God go put you in a better position, you go back your Ferrari for mansion, you will never yet undergo sufferness, no go lower to chop in the dough, but I don't put yourself for illegal position, no more now, I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you. Isha. So tell all the boys, we the guy there and he can walk you. Come on, juicy. So tell them again, we the guy there and he can walk you. Come on, juicy.
Celebrating Sound Sultan. Did you play his song at any time?
I love him.
You love him?
I was always having, when I was listening to this music, I was always having Jagbajantis in my head.
Jagbajanti?
Yes, in my head.
I love this song. Yeah, can we play Bodmas? Let's feel him. I'm dedicating that song to you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Sound Sultan left the song for us. He sings for us. It's the celebration of Sound Sultan. He lives. He lives.
All stands, greet.
Good morning. You are welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand pidgin English?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use henceforth? Okay, carry your paper. Them for my class. People of this world, them plenty. Things of this people, many accounts, so many. Many times plenty, multiply.
Stands, greet.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You are welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand pidgin English?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use henceforth? Okay, carry your paper. Them for my class. People of this world, them plenty. Things of this people, many, so many. Many times plenty, multiplier. Many times plenty, multiplier. The answer you get now waiting, they make come and they cry. The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man they mess and leaders deny. The answer you get now waiting, they make young boys and girls join the gang. Answer you get now waiting, they make innocent man rot inside the jail. Get it, and then no be to grant a bail. Get it, oh. Everybody, join Jagbajantis, make we solve mathematics. We need about our continent, so oh, you both say about math. We go use to solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis. So ya carry by be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself,
oh, for objectivity.
Be objective, tell them
be for democracy. M for modification.
Our behavior, let's stand to the stadium.
A, accountability.
If you've been a chocolate, I beg you to come easy.
S for solidarity.
Not every time we buy it, oh my show.
We enter new millennium.
Shut bro.
Gigas like 120 million. No gone.
Shut bro.
World population na 60 billion. Divide that one by 120.
Younger versions of Fela. For him, he was somebody that he's well polished, well mannered, well everything, and he was like he's a role model, a complete role model for young people.
He did her R&B, Afrobeat, soul, Fuji music. I'll tell you more as we go. Remember, don't go away. Wide Adebayo with me. Chichi and Tinuke are with me. And Professor Bukari is joining me. Don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
Hi, Oni. It's time for Foodco Festival of Savings.
Really?
Oh, yes. Foodco Festival of Savings returns with a big bang with an incredible 25% off on winning baskets at an appointed time on your daily shopping.
What?
Other mouth-watering offers include Milo Energy Drinks, 450 grams at 970 naira. 3 crowns evaporated milk, 4 pieces at 780 naira. Malta Guinness can, 330 ml classic, now 875 naira. Coke Fanta Sprite Pet, 50 cl, pack of 12, now 1,300 naira. Massive discounts on vegetable oil, wines, chicken, and other festive needs. Also available is free delivery on shopping above 3,000 naira when you shop on www.foodco.ng. Promo runs from 16th to 25th of July 2021. Foodco Festival of Saving. Available in all Foodco stores in Ibadan and online via www.foodco.ng. Offers available while stock lasts. Terms and conditions.
Did you know chronic stress from work or lifestyle habits may result in fatigue, headaches, and pains? Stress reduces the body's ability to fight diseases, leaving you vulnerable. Your day will be much better knowing you have the right immune support to help you combat symptoms of stress. Immune Active is a premium blend of high-strength vitamin C, zinc, and selenium that helps prevent recurring diseases, improves skin radiance, and boosts confidence. Activate your immune system today with Immune Active. Available at any leading pharmacy store near you and online at oaklifevitamins.com.
ẹ̀yin tèmi ó dẹ̀ rọrùn fún mi láti máa ṣorin fún yín ṣùgbọ́n ṣé mo kó tó tún rọrùn fún mi jù láti ṣe àsopọ̀ NIN mi àti ẹ̀ka ìpè Glo mi mo lè mú ẹ̀rọ ìpè mi kí n sì tẹ *109*NIN# tàbí kí n pe 109 lórí ẹ̀ka ìpè Glo mi kí n sì tẹ̀lé àwọn ìfilọ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀ tí kò bá wù mí láti pè mo lè tẹ àtẹ̀ránṣẹ́ NIN mi sí 109 mo lè kàn sórí glowworld.com/NIN pẹ̀lú íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ayárabíàṣá mi tí kò bá sún mi tí ò rẹ̀ mí mo lè yà ní ẹ̀ka Glo World tó súnmọ́ mi jù tó bá dẹ̀ ti gbàgbé NIN rẹ̀ tẹ *346# láti rí gbà padà ẹlòmíì lè béèrè wípé tí n bá ní NIN kọ̀ kò burú Glo jẹ́ igi lẹ́yìn ọgbà ẹ̀ nítorí o lè yan fandawọ èyíkéyìí Glo World tó súnmọ́ ẹ jù kó sì ṣe forúkọsílẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé má jẹ́ kán já ẹ̀ka ìpè Glo rẹ o nítorí àwọn àǹfààní tó pọ̀ sí ìpè àti data látọwọ́ Glo àti so NIN rẹ pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ka Glo rẹ ó rọrùn gidi kò léwu ọ̀fẹ́ ni kò sì ní wàhálà rárá.
Glo Unlimited.
Not a new level. When I sample your ticket from Baskin to yesterday's gone today. Keep your lucky day. For Baskin go Baskin go. You are royal, you we are gonna make me bad. We Baskin go go check these scores on today. Keep your lucky day.
Playground for kings.
Do you need a fully furnished, nice and comfortable hostel accommodation in University of Ibadan? Or a place for seminars and executive trainings at the same venue? You do not have to worry. Adebayo Akonde Hall suits your lodging needs and provides you a home away from home. Adebayo Akonde Hall is a 4-star hostel built in a serene environment with constant supply of electricity. It has fully furnished rooms that gives you great comfort at an affordable price. Adebayo Akonde Hall is located at Ajibode Extension, University of Ibadan. To make reservations, visit www.adebayohall.com or call the numbers 0805 699 8718, 0805 699 8719, 0805 699 8720. Adebayo Akonde Hall. Built for comfort. Built for you.
Let's turn it up. Turn it up with Big B Live. The 11th edition is coming to Jogo Center, Liberty Road, Ibadan, on the 25th of July, 2021. Come join Big B alongside Joe Praise, Chigoze Wisdom, Adeyinka Alashiyori, Timida Kolo, Kayode Oluwayomi Iben, and a host of others as we lift our praises to the Most High. Special presence, Pastor Austin Olobese. Also featuring Dr. Smile, Wuli Agba, Habib Benyin, MC BBO, and many more. You stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Raffle entry ticket is 1,000 naira only. For table bookings and inquiries, call 080-710-40087. Sponsors: Nescafe, MTN, Titan Farms, Capital Inn, Leah, Esther Ajayi Foundation, and You Fit Fly. Mark your calendars. 4 p.m. on the 25th of July, 2021. Come join us for the 11th edition of Turn It Up with Big B Live. We move.
We're kicking some folks out of the market this season.
I tell you, okay, everyone else in this bed with me, they're losers.
We're the station that beats all the competition. And we'll prove it as soon as we hear any competition.
105.5 Splash.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news,
cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Rob and Cecilia, BBC Minute.
Western Germany first, where floodwaters burst through a dam, forcing the evacuation of a nearby town.
Rescue efforts are continuing in Germany, Belgium and the Netherlands. At least 150 people are known to have died in the flooding.
The Tokyo Olympic Games now, organisers haven't disclosed the nationality of the person in the Olympic Village who tested positive for COVID. We're told it's a visiting organiser.
A man known as the Hollywood Ripper has been sentenced to death. Michael Gargiulo was convicted of 2 gruesome murders of women in the early 2000s.
Yeah, one had been due to go on a date with actor Ashton Kutcher, who testified at the trial.
BBC Minute.
Boots and a shirt worn by football legend Diego Maradona are going up for auction. The signed top was worn by the Argentine star during the 1990 World Cup match. It's expected to reach $59,000.
And classic movie Grease is set for a prequel. Paramount Plus has given the green light to a series called Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, which takes place 4 years before the original.
0859G.
BBC Minute.
Quick, Charger 240. Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
We're kicking some folks out of the market this season.
I tell you, okay, everyone else in this bed with me, they're losers.
We're the station that beats all the competition, and we'll prove it as soon as we hear any competition.
105.5 Splash.
In the global village of conflicting ideologies and complexities, understanding systems and schemes through awareness and social reconstruction becomes expedient.
They never told you how you offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before
Join the radio man, Edmund Obilo, on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmund Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
Daganan kilo bejening kom lo moham
lo 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 lo
di peta maso sanalom
lo 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 lo
muasa benge kaputo
lo lo lo
yeah
State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmund Obilo. State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Yeah, Sound Sultan and Janinja. Kenneth, you know what they do. This one, like all my brothers, we don't go outside Nigeria. We don't jack more for Nigeria. Always try to look back, cause no place like home, you know what I mean? So Obama tell me, see, I do that be there and I true, man. Check this out. Oh, yeah, oh. Hey, I do that be there. No matter where you go, make you not forget area, oh. Area, oh. Na Naija, tí o dé bá ti lè padà wálé o, wálé o. How I wish, say, I fit reach you anywhere you dey. You dey far away. That's one no say make you dey born area o, motherland yo. Do somebody borrow you a go, make you to travel go Chicago. Remember Nnamdi selling car, so you go America. All these people when they raise you, still they stay for face me I face you. Promise say you no go fashy them. Every other month you go they tashi them. Hillary baby where you been promised to marry. Still they wait, so boy she don't tarry. When she see you now inside ovation, you marry Onyibo from another nation. Use mago get dough. Then your Onyibo wife don't know. Next thing you know, she don't go report you. Waiting you know, it don't deport you. I wish, say, I feel to reach you anywhere you day. You day, far away. That's one no say me good a born area. Motherland, yo. I told her no matter where you go, make you not forget area. That my town, area. Nana enjoy. Ti o de batile pada wale. You been saying now 1 year, it can turn to 2 years. You don't go for 7 years, but you deserve 11 years. Even when your papa buy, plus the tears your mama cry. Buy you for Chicago, then they miss you for Coco. Beyond do for Canada, your mama still they wonder. Igba wolo to ma pada o, remember for Nigeria you get yawo. Coulda bile, coulda bile, coulda bile, coulda bile, coulda bile. Ajuma da bile o. How I wish, say I feel to reach you anywhere you day, brother man. You day, far away. That's one no say make you the born area. Motherland, yo. You say you go call. Everybody wait tired for your call. Hotel, why you go like so? From Germany to carry cocoa enter Yankee Borden. Cocoa post for your belly. Rest in peace. You fly away. You come wonder if one day you feet come back, yo. Your papa land, yo, I understand. Say you day so far away. Long, long way from home. Long, long way from home. You got a long, long way from home. A long, long way from your papa land. I told her no matter where you go, make you not forget area. So tired, Nigeria, how we doing it? All my brothers in the west, all my brothers in the east, north, south, you know how we're doing it. And all these people in the rule us, we gotta try and make Nigeria so that people go want to come back home. Bless you, Kenneth music. Peace out, Jiggy. Now we're doing it. Kenneth, man.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
He has been celebrated by all.
Yes. Rightfully so.
He has been celebrated by all.
Rightfully so.
You know, he has been
He has. You know, let me say another thing. He was very humble. You know, he used to wash his car for a very long time himself. I remember he used to wash his car for a very long time himself. He used to take care of his car. He will wash it, then you have all this sprays he used. I don't know all the sprays then. He will use the spray, maybe, you know, for any scratch. He used to do everything himself. And you'll be wondering, he'll say, don't worry, he was that humble. He had people that could do, he washed it himself for every time. He will wash his car himself. No airs about land rate. Land rate, he will bug by for Okada, you know, even as a star, he will just flag Okada down. He had one guy, one man. He was his barber from day one till, even when he left Satellite Town, he would still go, gunman. He would be the one to cut his hair.
Gunman was his barber.
Gunman
On your clothes now. Gunman on your
know.
clothes. His shop is on your clothes, actually.
Sound Sultan. How did that name come about?
I have no idea.
I think Sultan. Yes, maybe that. Maybe a little bit Islam. Or about being a Muslim, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the sound, I can't really remember how it puts it together. But one thing I know if people have really noticed, you can hardly see him without his cap. He doesn't leave his hair open. Either he has a bowler hat, he has a face cap, he has something, just to signify, it's like a symbol, humility symbol of being, a revered Muslim. Most people, when you're into music, entertainment industry, the media, you could have, all this fashion trends of dreads and stuff, and he never did. He never really did. Even if he did, I never think he exposed it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe spotting waves. Then you just use spotting waves to make your hair spotty and wavy. But he always had a face cap, always had something on his head. He was, he was that kind of person. Lanre. He went to his primary school was Stepping Stone primary school. Then he went to FGC Ogbomoso. He was a very strong member of Ansarudin, even up until he passed. They were still saying of the things he still did while he was still on the sick bed, which people didn't even know. Some people were telling me he did something. He's been doing something on Twitter for like a Muslim program. He was doing that all while he was still on his sick bed. Nobody knew. It's called Ejisari, like waking Muslims up for, time to fast, time to start your fast. And he was doing love, giveaway. He was like that, selfless.
Now let's look at his impact on the music scene in Nigeria. Chichi, how would you assess his impact on Nigerian music?
His impact on Nigerian music has actually achieved quite a lot of what he wanted it to achieve. He did not sing primarily for entertainment. Never. From the first song that shot him into limelight, it was entertainment was entertainment was secondary. He had, I would say we're kindred spirits in that regard. He had a passion for the betterment of the nation in his heart, and that was always what he wanted to pass across. We could even see from the statement that was released from the presidency after he had died, that was always what like a Bob Marley type of music or type of person. He always wanted to see a better Nigeria or a better person. When he spoke about Ajo Dabile, always talking about, Chinedu, you took money from your neighbors or whatever and you traveled, so he always wanted to speak to your conscience. That was always what he wanted. And I guess because he had that responsibility, that social responsibility, he believed that he needed to reflect first in his character. So he had very high level of integrity and strong character. I just want to say that I remember the last time I saw him, I would call his wife still Chichi. She's my namesake before she became a Muslim and changed her name. So I know a few people still call her Chichi. So Tinika might call her Farida, but I
call her Chichi. And he used to tell me Farida, and I tell him that Chichi is my daughter. So you call her Farida, I call her Chichi. So we used to crack jokes about that, throw banters about that.
So Chichi actually also grew up in Satellite. In fact, lived on the same close as Tinuke, which was like they lived in close 35. I lived on 34.
One of my children in the area.
I lived in 34. Tinuke lived in 35, and Larry lived in 40. So all in the same lane, so the same axis. So I saw them 2 years ago. That's when I saw them last. My father died, so I went to see my mom, who had still lived there at that time. And the area we used to walk around, I remember I'll be walking with Tinuke down the road, and then she would see Larry, and then she would begin to, I would already have put up an attitude thinking, okay, Larry has just released one hit music now, he will be feeling cool with himself. But Nika would already say hailing him, hey, fast score, and then I will be, my face will just be straight. I won't talk.
Whatever the song is, I'll just start singing. So from wherever it is, you just put his hands in the air.
And then when he gets to us,
some people say again, and then you let more,
And then when he gets to us, he would go, oh, Chichi, how now? How are you? I will be pleasantly surprised. So every time you see him, his humility was new. It was refreshing. It was renewed. No matter how big anything had happened for him, no matter what, maybe they had made him MTN ambassador, they had made him Glow ambassador, he had moved out, So 2 years ago, I went to see my mom, I stayed a bit, so we used to walk around the area. So I took it as an opportunity to walk as well, to go and see a friend's parents. So as I was walking, I saw himself and his wife, and he just started hailing me. And I was like, oh, Larry, how now? Chichi, how are you? I saw himself and his wife. So, how are you guys? So he said, he just was greeting me about my dad, the loss of my dad, that, he has stopped by at my house to say hello to my mom. I was like, okay, thank you. My mom is actually in shock because I showed her the pictures yesterday and told her about it. She was like, oh, such a young man. He shouldn't have gone so soon and all of that. So, fond memories.
Tinuke.
Yeah, I remember Larry, when he comes to my house, he was as cool as he used to sit on the floor sit on the carpet, talking to my mom. He would sit down on the floor. When my mom would sit on the sofa, and he would sit on the floor, like a baby, talking to her. Or sometimes he would just, bend, like, oh God, Larry was cool. He's left a big mark, a big footprint, I pray that, we all can't be like him, but, just to imbibe some of the things he did. We all have our different paths we've chosen. We could all do different things differently, but, just to be impactful in whatever we do, impact into our neighbors, our family, loved ones, some little things we do that we don't even know really, really counts. And, we'll always be appreciated by other people. And it's just, in fact, I remember, Chichi, do you remember Ibrahim Alabi? He also played basketball with
Ibrahim closed one.
They were a team. Ibrahim Alabi.
Yeah, I think Ibrahim stayed on close.
Yeah, they were all, in fact, up till the time he left Nigeria, he was still playing basketball with Ibrahim Alabi. I see them on Instagram, they're playing basketball in different areas, in Zulere, different areas, Civil Service Club. They still do their basketball together. Yeah. They do their bowling together.
That's how loyal he
I
was.
remember on my clothes,
committed to friendship.
Then Harry's elder brother. So that was how, it was from them. You hear, hey, fair dreams. Once they say that from their house, if I hear in my house, I will copy alarm today. So I will shout, fast go. And they hear words, because once I hear, I will fast go when you come our house before you go, fair dream. Once you hear fair dream, it's standing basketball time.
Attention all brothers, this is a Ninja and Hypertech collaboration.
Something like a bushmeat. I am searching for the hunter. If I ever catch the hunter, if you help me see the hunter, ever me keep ever me keep
One day, bushmeat go catch the hunter. Sound so tender.
That is proverb, yeah. And the lesson there is that you might think you are powerful today, like it's happening in Nigeria. Misgovernance is driving people to the extreme. Many people have been hungry for a very long time. Many people have been very poor for a very long time. And it gets to a point when people become hopeless. What they do is they unleash terror on society, and that's what we're seeing today. I remember in the early 2000 when I went to serve in the north, in Yobe, Gaidam to be precise. I used to think I have seen poverty in Nigeria. I used to think I came from a poor family. I used to think my family was poor. I was poor. But when I got to Gaidam, and I found that there are different versions of poverty.
What version did you see?
That can be like a hellish version of poverty.
Extreme of extreme?
Or extreme of the extreme of poverty.
You saw in Yobe State?
In Yobe State, in Gaidam to be precise at that time.
So you understand why the violence
I can understand that some people in this country are living subhuman life.
Perhaps the reason the North has become the hotbed of violence.
If you say there's Boko Haram, you cannot solve it with a military campaign, because there are deep-seated problems that has to do with poverty, that has to do with hunger, that has to do with hopelessness, that has to do with deprivation, that has to do with lack of capacity, lack of education, lack of opportunities, lack of innovations, lack of everything. An economist, Amartya Sen, got the Nobel Prize for what he defined, when he redefined poverty from what we used to know. We used to say poverty is if you don't have if you live below $2 a day. No, but Amartya Sen came up with the definition that when you are incapacitated, that means you are poor. That means poverty has different dimensions. When you are hungry, you are poor. When you need to have money to do something, you don't have that money, you are poor. If you need education, you don't have education, you are poor. If you are a woman and you need to kind of have a say in your family thing, and you don't have a say, you are poor. If you are a woman, you are supposed to be able to inherit properties in your family, you are poor. So poverty is incapacity, things that will hold you back from becoming who you can potentially become. That's what poverty is.
Wow. Yes, I was expecting Professor Egbukare on the show, but I just saw the message now that he won't be here. Okay, he sent the message before around 8 a.m. I'm just saying it. I wanted to discuss with him the question, is it time to think and act differently in Nigeria of the moment? But I will leave that subject for another day. I wanted to take you into the trend happening around the world on communication. The Twitter ban in Nigeria. Is it just Nigeria? I wanted to tell you the story of what is going on in the world. I will take that story to another edition of the program. But I will also tell you that Google is fined 500 million euro by France Competition Authority for not taking orders to negotiate in good faith with news organizations over the use of their content. I am talking about the unraveling of a global copyright battle between tech firms and news organizations. You know, in 2019, I raised that point at Ibadan Social Media Conference. Like we do documentaries. Yemi Prodigy, Edmund Obilo, we hit the field, we do documentaries. These documentaries are placed on YouTube, Facebook, attracting a lot of viewership, attracting money to Facebook. Why is Facebook not sharing profit with us? You know, I raised that point 2019 at that conference. I also raised the point about Twitter, Facebook in Nigeria. Yes, federal government might have suspended them, especially Twitter. But I raised that point in 2019. How much money is Twitter investing in Nigeria? You know, Mark Zuckerberg all of a sudden became so rich. How much share of that money comes to Nigeria? Because we also drop content. These are the arguments that are emerging. Because if you see, the journalist is getting poorer, while the tech guys are getting richer. But I will break down these issues when I come. I am ready. I have the script. Let me also tell you that in Australia, The fact is that Australia becomes the first country to set the price tech giants pay domestic media if private talks fail. This is made possible by a revised code for media reform passed by the country's parliament in February 2021. I'm just giving you just hints. User-generated content caused Twitter to lose immunity in India. It's not just Nigeria. It is spreading. Even in America, it is being discussed. Is this the reemergence of the sovereign state? Those are the questions I will raise in my analysis, and I need time to do that well so that you can also contribute. You know, we've been so engrossed in Fulani herdsmen, separatism, that we are not looking at the direction the world is headed. And those who will conquer politics and economy in the future are those who understand the direction tech is going. Now, this is the story from India. The India government has filed a case against Twitter in a high court in New Delhi over non-compliance to the provisions of the new IT Act on user-generated content. The law becomes effective end of May 2021 and aims at regulating content on social media, also asking that social media firms respond to legal requests for removal of posts deemed inappropriate. By the law, the companies share details with government on the originators of such messages. I'm just giving you a hint. Remember, in the case of Nigeria, Twitter is suspended indefinitely on Friday, 4th June 2021, on accusation of providing opportunity for elements threatening the existence of Nigeria. Since enough is enough, government speaks in the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed. I quote, "And the reason we gave was because of the persistent use of the Twitter platform for activities that are capable of undermining Nigeria's corporate existence." Lai Mohammed continues, "I want to repeat that it's because Twitter has consistently made its platform available to those who are threatening Nigeria's corporate existence. That's the reason for suspending their operations in the country." Government says Twitter's refusal to censor tweets from the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, accused of inciting violence, is tantamount to a plot against the state. Twitter's CEO, Jack Dorsey, funded October's EndSARS protest, government declares. The bad guy launches a special emoji giving protesters visibility on the micro-blogging platform. Meanwhile, Twitter crosses the red line as it deletes the president's statement on dealing with violent uprising in the southeast in the language it understands. Now, that is the Nigeria's point of view. There is the China point of view, and there's the Uganda point of view. And for me, these are interesting times. In fact, because of the power of tech, let me announce, I have gone back to my books on engineering. I'm now recreating myself as that guy who studied electrical and electronics engineering in his first degree. My mission is to understand what is going on and to use it to lift millions of Africa out of poverty in the days to come. So I've dusted the book. I am the tech guy now. I am in it. I am pursuing the cause. I am seeing what is going on. We are monitoring. If the richest guys in the world have become the tech guys, we must attract that wealth to Africa. That is the point. And we will do it. Because I'm wondering, how can we not lift millions of our people out of poverty? And I'm saying with tech, we can do it. And we have made the point that with agriculture, we can too. So questions are rising. Is free and open internet under attack? Is this the end of free and open internet? Are you a scholar? What are you researching on? Don't you think we are spending too much time on researching the Fulani question? We need to lift people out of poverty and they will drop their arms. They will drop their arms. You think that Fulani herdsman don't want to go to Dubai and have fun? Is Atiku not a Fulani herdsman? I mean, is Atiku not a Fulani? Is he in the bush? The poverty of the bush boy makes him violent. Who would take them out of the bush? You think the boy in the southeast is a mad boy? You think he wants to leave Nigeria if he's enjoying life? Don't you know an Igbo man is that man that wants to fly around the world, conquer, spread businesses? You think if he's happy, he want to separate? We will make them happy. We will build aeroplane and we will fly so high. When you lift the people out of poverty, violence runs away because they will begin to enjoy life. They will go to parties and they will have fun. They will drive good cars. And you think they will want to die? When you live well, you don't want to die. Is that true?
Very true. Very true. Very true. I want to bring your attention to something.
Yes, please.
There was this rapid economic growth in the mid-90s in many African countries and some part of the 2000s. And many countries were able to kind of solve the problem of poverty. But in Nigeria, researchers are showing that the rapid growth in economic growth did not result in poverty reduction. Although we also have to be honest, poverty went down in Nigeria, obviously, but the poverty level in Nigeria is like almost 46 to 47%. And in the last few months, with Corona and everything, it probably is around maybe 48 now, 49
If we want to use the data of Buhari, because he wants to lift 100 million Nigeria out of poverty.
Yeah.
That's almost half the population.
Yes. Now, we find ourselves in a really big, bitter situation because when people... There is this thing. What scares me the most is that when we were younger, somebody wants to become a lawyer, somebody wants to become a doctor, somebody wants to become a farmer, a pilot, and everything. You struggle through the years, the difficulty of going to school in Nigeria, writing the exams, writing everything, and you finish, you become a graduate, and you go to the streets, you cannot find a job. And that is a big problem on the one hand. Again, you find jobs, the money they are paying you still keeps you poor. It keeps you alive, but most of the people working in Nigeria are actually poor.
I might be poor if you don't know.
You see people I tell people that many civil servants in Nigeria are poor because you see them wear ties, razor sharp ties, shirts every day. They are paupers, but they just have learned to be alive and be happy and put a happy face. We are not paying living wages in Nigeria.
Living wage?
A living wage.
We are reducing minimum wage.
When you say minimum...
We can't pay 30K again. So some states are saying, no, we need to reduce it now.
Minimum wage is even an obnoxious word in this era that we live in. We should be paying living wage. And if we are talking of living wage in Nigeria as of today, even for a poor family, the food bill enough, we run nothing less than 50 to 60 or 70,000.
So corruption will thrive.
Corruption is obviously going to thrive because everybody is trying to survive from other means that is available to them. Civil servants, not even civil servants anymore. You have private companies. Staffs are creating bottlenecks for businesses just to be able to extract rent from customers.
And you find that everywhere.
Everywhere, both the private and the public. So when you talk about corruption, people talk about corruption, government is corrupt, I start smiling. That even the corruption in the private sector is even more bigger than that in the public sector nowadays. And it's because we pay rubbish as salary.
Open the lines, Bosun. 080-915-51055. It's your time to contribute. You can discuss on any subject. Sound Sultan. Food insecurity. Internet.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Edmund.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Tunde Onokoya, and I'm calling from Ibadan here.
Tunde Onokoya is here.
Yes. Thank you very much for the area you just took the conversation to. But in the last few minutes, there are 3 areas that I'd want us to look into. One is how much we have chosen to reduce the understanding of poverty in Nigeria. I'm a mechanic and I'm also a tech person, but I want to push something out from that perspective. You see, we're very poor in Nigeria, but it's being made to look like it's a small problem, or it's a problem of we can just solve it with a magic wand. We can't. Statistics from the National Bureau of Statistics suggest that the highest number of brand new cars ever bought in Nigeria, cumulatively in 1 year, including government purchase, is 12,000 pieces. That's 12,000 units of brand new cars, highest number nationwide. And we have countries that are boasting, in Africa, that are boasting of 1 million, 2 million units of brand new cars sold in a year within the same country. It suggests that our economy cannot support what the major indicators are of prosperity, because people just cannot afford these things. And we need to look at it from the perspective of saying there are middle classes in Nigeria. In the middle class, how many can afford to buy things that are supposed to be for the middle class in Nigeria? We need to solve that problem. And it's a problem that is so fundamental that government needs to look in a totally different direction. Now, the direction I'm talking about here is the direction you went into, talking about how much revenue comes into Nigeria from what the tech giants make and the rest. Over 5 years ago, I had a conversation with a group of people, and I said, we are in an uncharted territory when it comes to new media and social media. And it is important for us as a country to get very, very smart and intelligent and look into our laws and see how our laws can empower our people in this uncharted territory. Because there is nobody knew what social media was going to grow to become. Now it has become a hydra-headed monster that the world is trying to deal with in several ways, and it is becoming increasingly difficult to deal with because it is looking like an attack on the system itself, which has democratized information distribution worldwide. So we need to look at it from that perspective. Then the third one is this, and that is the future I'm talking about now. A few years ago, I studied electronic mobility and economics at Paris Tech University. And one of the things I saw from there is the fact that there is a proliferation of electronic vehicles all over the world. And it is coming into Nigeria. You need to begin to ask the question, are we ready for electronic mobility in Nigeria? Do we have laws in place to take full advantage of that when it comes? Are we going to benefit as a nation from this proliferation that is happening all over the world? Because that's how social media started. And now it is almost too late for us to begin to tap into it. Are we going to do the same thing when it comes to electric vehicles? These are my perspectives on these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tunde Onokoya, the power of tech. Let me tell you another area I'm looking at. Over the next quarter of a century, artificial intelligence and quantum computing will further revolutionize our world. Artificial intelligence is the replication of human intelligence in machines. I'm asking, what happens to Africa? The chief executive officer of Google and its parent company, Alphabet, Sundar Pichai, in a July 2021 BBC interview, speaks of artificial intelligence. I quote, "I view it as the most profound technology that humanity will ever develop and work on. You know, if you think about fire or electricity or the internet, it's like that. But I think even more profound You know, I now lecture in a university where I teach media. So in recent time, I've been looking at syllables, what we teach students in the university. You know, I also did a master's degree in UI. So I've been asking people, can I get your syllables? I'm not seeing how backward we are. Our syllables are not even responding to the future. But we have to respond. We don't have any alternative. Even if Buhari does not understand, it doesn't matter. Because we are also moving into a world where you don't need to be a president to make dramatic change. It was the idea of Mark Zuckerberg and others that is Facebook is a revolution that the world is trying to grapple with. Google is not the American government. The government is there, to smoothen the road, come out with policies that help. But we can build our country if government failed. What about quantum computing? That's another phenomenon. It will change the world. Have you studied what is called the singularity, the merger of the biological human and the technological human? Quantum computing is different from ordinary computing. Ordinary computing is based on states of matter that are binary, 0 or 1. Yes, I'm going technical. But at the quantum level or subatomic level, it can be 0 or 1 at the same time, or on a spectrum between the two. Quantum computers factor in the probability of matter being in one of the various different states, the reason they are built on qubits. Are we studying this in our universities? We are still talking about hunger. Fulani, Yoruba, Igbo. We are talking of issues that we could resolve with ease if we want peace. So that we can face those things that matter. Before you know it, they will buy over our countries. But we will not allow that. We have woken up. We are waiting no more.
Edmund, I want to allow something.
Yeah.
On the issue of the internet, I can understand why countries are trying to grapple with the situation currently. Like we used to say in the academics, we say that the state of development is so rapid nowadays.
Exponential.
Yes, that it just happens and governments try to say, okay, how do we deal with this? And it becomes problematic like we're already having now. But what actually gets to me here is that the government should be on top of these things, trying to bring in regulations that will allow fair, good, democratic use of this system. And I think the point where you took it to was the issue of monetizations for local content. One other thing that I know for certain, I know people in this country. I have no companies in Europe. Nigeria is becoming like the second or third biggest country for coders. And foreign countries are tapping into that. And what are they doing? They have companies in Europe. I know one or two. They have the coders in Nigeria here and paying them minute money for salaries. They are doing jobs that they collected tens of thousands of euros for over there, doing it in Nigeria. The people here happy just to get by for doing what they love to do. So these are some of the places we're talking about. If these young people who are already coding for big corporations in Europe are getting peanuts for doing the same job that our counterparts in Europe who gets hundreds of thousands of euros as salary for in a year, government needs to look into these things. We need to be able to look into these sub-levels of things. And let's come to agriculture and technology. One of the most easiest way of taking our agriculture from where we say it is now, rudimentary level, elementary level, basic level, survival level, to whatever level, is technology.
It's tech.
Yeah. For example, me and you, we talked about...
Yes.
We talked about taking cassava from what it is today into a tech kind of cassava thing.
But COVID-19 stopped us.
We stopped us from doing that.
But we need to pick up.
We have to, because I am saddened that a cassava farmer in a village somewhere wants to sell his cassava. It takes him about 4 weeks looking for somebody to buy it. And a middleman comes from nowhere and says, I have somebody that can buy it, and takes the cassava off him and sometimes he never gets the money again. Or sometimes he gets the money like 1 month later, and so on and so forth. So it's problematic.
we have to solve the problems. Yeah. We'll be back after this break.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà kú oríire o. Ẹ kú àmójúbà ilé-iṣẹ́ kan àrà ọ̀tọ̀ tó ń bá gbogbo owó ṣe sátírìtì láti dòwò pọ̀. Oríire dé ilé-iṣẹ́ Alẹ́zó Limited tí wà ń kalẹ̀ láti pín èyíkéyìí ọjà fún gbogbo owó ṣe sàrìtì láti pátápátá. Bíi drinks, ìrẹsì, spaghetti, ọṣẹ lọ́kàn òjọ̀kan, sẹ̀mó, òróró. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì tún ni ohun gbogbo tẹ́nu jẹ ògbẹ́yìn o. Ìfọkànbalẹ̀ wà fún gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá ọ̀dà fún èyíkéyìí ọjà nílé-iṣẹ́ wa. Nítorí wípé bí ẹ bá ti ọ̀dà ní ọjà yóò máa kàn yín lára láàrin ìṣẹ́jú àyá. Ó di ìgbà tí ẹ bá tó fojú kọ ọjà tẹ ọ̀dà. Kẹ́ ẹ tó sanwó èyíkéyìí ọjà tẹ ọ̀dà fún. Ọ̀fẹ́ sì ni delivery yín bá dé. Ilé-iṣẹ́ wa wà ní South West, Ìkòròdú àti Ìlọrin. Láti ọ̀dà fún ọjà tirẹ̀ pè sórí nọ́mbà yìí 08000253796 tàbí 070025379 ìwọ náà tara ṣá láti bá Alẹ́zó Limited dòwò pọ̀ kí o sọ ọ̀dà fún ọjà tó bá ń fẹ́.
Let's turn it up. Turn it up with Big B Live.
Sọ pé mo dúpẹ́ mo rí àánú gbà.
The 11th edition is coming to Jogger Center, Liberty Road, Ibadan, on the 25th of July, 2021. Come join Big B alongside Joe Praise, Chigoze Wisdom, Adeyinka Alashiyori, Timida Kolo, Kayode Oluwayomi Iben, and a host of others as we lift our praises to the Most High. Special presence, Pastor Austin Ologbese. Also featuring Dr. Smile, Woli Agba, Habib Benyin, MC BBO, and many more. You stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Raffle entry ticket is 1,000 Naira only. For table bookings and inquiries, call 080-710-40087. Sponsors, Nescafe, MTN, Titan Farms, Capital Inn, Leah, Esther Ajayi Foundation, and You Fit Fly. Mark your calendars. 4 p.m. on the 25th of July, 2021. Come join us for the 11th edition of Turn It Up with Big B Live. We move.
I feel alive, so alive. When I'm with my best friends, indulging my she exotic. Nothing makes my drink more than when the mixer is delightful. She exotic. And after a long day, I wanna relax with the taste of my tea exotic.
Indulge and get lost in the deeply satisfying taste of the Chi Exotic range of delicious fruit blends.
Chi Exotic Nectar. I love the taste. Now available in can.
Catch your favorite shows live on Facebook.
Yes.
You can watch your favorite presenters and listen to your favorite programs on our Facebook page every day. Go to Splash FM 105.5 on Facebook. Like our page and get updates when your favorite program is streaming.
Splash FM 105.5.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
He was called.
It's just a shame that I can't remember most of his songs like before, but he did lots of songs. And, the good thing is, I saw some of my classmates, they wrote quite a lot on Facebook, talking about how he did a lot of songs for a lot of, people in the music industry, and he didn't collect a dime. He directed a lot of programs. I know he used to do some comedy too, Comedy House or something. Then he did a few other ones too.
He even did some songs with Wyclef.
He did quite a lot.
Wyclef, yes.
Yes, he did with Wyclef.
Yes, he did.
He was an international star. And that is why we are celebrating him. He was a man that came, touched the world with his lyrics, touched the word with his beat. He left a message. That is why we are talking about him. Going back to where he grew up, talking about his university days, talking about the good old days, the memories. What do we take? What lessons do we learn from the life he led? Speak for Lanre.
Lanre, his message, like you said, was for everybody to, that social cohesion. He wanted everybody to live in peace. A lot of his songs were about peace, about mending fences, trying to make sure that we all were one. We all, justice, fighting for justice, for people, for, amenities to be provided for. He believed in one Nigeria. He believed in Africa. He believed that if we could all do things right, we could all live right. And, nobody, he just believed that we could all just be one big family, one big family that could just do things, you can't do things right all the time, but, just do things that will make everybody feel accepted and, give everybody that sense of belonging. That was just him. That was his lifestyle, giving everybody a sense of belonging.
Chichi, what do you think Larry will be saying to us now? What will South Sultan be saying to the Nigerian situation now?
I think he'll be saying many things, but top on his list will probably be brotherhood. We can do better. It would be one nation where justice and peace shall reign.
South Sultan, Jay Slick on the beat, y'all. Hey, I dey come back home. I wanna come home. For my people out there, they come back home. I wanna come home. 'Cause I've been out there too long. I jump on in an English town, breaking bounds, making pounds. Everybody know that's what I thought. Identification, like green passport. Just like Ile, but not really. We don't get the gringo down for Orile, but not Tile. I'm on them cool, getting like a wood down for my village. King like me suppose get excess amount of freedom. Get anything I want get, because I'm a king of a kingdom. See, I'm a king where I come from. I come on man in London. I get the plenty land back home, but now I'm a nothing.
Yes, we dedicated the show. Yes, we dedicated the show to the memories of Sound Sultan. On Larewaju Abdul Ganiu Fasasi. That was his name. Lanre. Yes, the Chichi you had there is my Chichi. She is my wife. My wife on State Affairs. We just have to go. What do you have to say? You listen to my wife. She's the voice there.
Ah.
Yes, the Chichi in that interview.
She grew up in Festa?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
It's interesting. As a close, Sound Sultan was a great guy. He was a guy who inspired all of us, who brought out the humanity in you. He's a humble guy, and you could see with stardom, somebody so humble, it teaches you lessons. It tells you that you, with all the thing around you, you can still be yourself. Be a man of the people. Be an example, shining example to young people. From Ebute Meta to everywhere. He was touching lives and going to programs in primary schools, secondary schools, going to, summer lessons to kind of be like an impact on young people. So he was a great guy.
And the country he left behind?
We are in a mess. We just have to get our acts together.
To keep him alive, we need to build the country.
We need to build this country. And I said, if the people who have the brain, the middle class, run away from this country, who is going to start the change?
I go nowhere. I die here. Waidi Adebayo, thank you for featuring on State Affairs.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure.
I worked with Bosun Lion Day to bring you this edition of the program. Your May Prodigy is here, streaming the program to the world. I thank everyone who listens. But remember, I'm beginning to think that we need to change the narrative. We need to begin to speak in new languages. And we need to begin to solve our problems. It is time to think and act differently, or we are dead. I am Edmund Obilo, The next program is Ijoba Ibile with Abiodun Adewale. He talks about local government administrations. He talks of the politics at the grassroots level. He talks about the development of the people. Join Abiodun Adewale at 12 o'clock on the program. At 11 o'clock on the program, Ijoba Ibile. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmund Obilo. Thank you for listening.
Daganan kilo bejening kong lo moham. Lo 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 lo.